Hi there, it's Thursday. That means we are doing a live again. And if you remember correctly, we have started an exciting new series called The Singles. So my name is Tanya Uester. Today I'm coming live from our Botanically page, Alchemy of Soothing Botanic Ingredients. And today we are going to be talking about Tangerine, a newly released oil in South Africa by doTERRA, my favorite essential oil brand. So let's see if we can dig into some of the information about Tangerine and why it is such an amazing oil and how it can support your body with a daily wellness routine. So as I just wait for a couple people to come logging in, I just want to try and see. There we go. We've got a couple of people. So if you say hi, then I'll be able to see who has actually joined. So yeah, very exciting. Today we are going to be talking about Tangerine. And obviously Tangerine is one of those, is it a mandarin? Is it a normal orange? Is it a blood orange? There's absolutely so very many different orange, as in the fruit, orange species out there, and Tangerine is one of them. Okay, so there's various varieties or species, shall we call it, but a lot of varieties of different oranges, and obviously a lot of them are going to have similar benefits because of the amazing essential oil chemical constituents that they contain. Hi, oh, there we go. Now I can see. Wow, there's a large Facebook delay today. Hello, Cara and Jill, both of you logging in. Hello, hello. The waving function has now disappeared. So there's obviously again been an update on Facebook. Hello, Quibus. Welcome. Thank you for joining again today. One of my routine regulars. Really awesome seeing you guys in here. And I can't see that Chantal has said hi, but I did see her profile image come up. Okay, so the new update is quite exciting. At least now I can see who's coming in. So just a reminder, go and say hi so that I can give you a shout out. Zahira, fantastic. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining today. So we're talking about citrus, and the reason why is it's one of those incredibly uplifting oils. And I, for one, need a little bit of extra citrus at the moment because of all the things that are going on in my life. So I do feel that I need quite a little bit of upliftment, whether it's to do or to motivate me to do some exercise. I don't know if some of you have seen, I am busy with, there we go, there's Chantal, hello. I'm doing a little bit of an accountability session on my Botanically page on a daily basis because I did go into a little bit of a slum where my work hours became more, and then obviously the first thing that goes is self-care, right? And I'm one of those people that really needs to do quiet time and some form of exercise every single day for me to stay sane and healthy. My body feels it, my mind feels it. I become all frazzled. I have more anxious feelings when I don't do those things. So yes, I am now going back into that routine. And although it's difficult to fit it in sometimes, like it is for most people, I do find that if I don't do it and I do more work, it's not a good balance, because if I have nothing in me, I have nothing to give, right? And I find that the citrus essential oils are actually really beneficial for me because they obviously do motivate me to do a little bit more. They are very uplifting, and I mean, who doesn't love the smell of fresh citrus? So let's dig right into it. Tangerine is an amazing essential oil. Tangerine has actually been used for over 3,000 years medicinally. And it's one of those that are still used in integrative medicine quite heavily because of all the beautiful properties. And today we're going to be talking specifically about Tangerine essential oil because it is a newly released product in South Africa by doTERRA. But maybe we can just talk about the plant itself. It is an evergreen tree. And I don't know if you're like me, if I can have a citrus tree in my garden, I'm in a happy place. So whether it's lemon, whether it's an orange, I have an absolute fascination since I was a little girl for having a citrus tree in my garden. It's like you've made it when you can grow your own citrus, even if it's just one tree. And I remember there was a vacation that I went on at some stage very many years ago now, where it was like sort of in treetops, and on the route there you drove through these orchards with just rows and rows of citrus trees, and it was just like absolute heaven to me because yes, you can smell the fragrance slightly, but I don't know, there's just something about a citrus tree that really fascinates me and really makes me happy. So they are evergreen trees, and they've got fragrant, this is going to be like that neroli smell, right? That really fragrant creamy white flowers, which are really beautiful as well, especially this time of the year, or at that time of the year, sorry, when those flowers come out. And the tangerine itself is actually a small orange fruit, but it is still larger than a mandarin. Okay, so they are closely related. They're going to have a very similar smell in the essential oil, also very similar benefits because of the chemical constituents that are in a essential oil that comes from a citrus origin, but they are also going to have unique properties. All right, so let's talk about tangerine a little bit more, because the main chemical constituent in it is something called an alkene, and that is limonene. All right, so if we just look at the alkenes, aromatically, when plants have a high concentration of alkenes, they have many unique and pleasant fragrances when you're using them aromatically. When you use them topically, they've got a very high concentration of antioxidant support for your body, and therefore it's really good for your skin and your tissues. And I will just talk about a warning there, right? Remember, the citrus oils are always photosensitive, which means if you're going to be putting them on your skin, please don't go into the South African sun within 12 hours because they are going to oversensitize your skin. Not something that's a good idea. Okay, so it's going to oversensitize, and you even run the risk of skin discoloration. So if you are going to be using essential oils of the citrus family topically, please do so in winter, or just don't go into the sun, or rather use it in the evening when you know you're not going to go in the sun or you are going to stay indoors. All right. And then another one is obviously internal, and this is where you've got to be really careful about the essential oil brand that you use. If your bottle doesn't say food supplement, please do not use it internally, because there's definitely going to be some other harmful components in that essential oil, usually very diluted, with a carrier oil that might not necessarily be food grade. It might only be good for topical use. So always just make sure and adhere to what that label says. The label is there for a really good reason. And when you do have so many food sensitivities and you've got a sensitive constitution, I guess you're like me, you are already reading labels. So that's a really good thing. But when you do use a essential oil brand, the citrus oils being food supplements, when you do use them internally, they obviously offer you quite a lot of antioxidant support, which is really beneficial for your internal organs. It may also support the nervous system, the immune system, the digestive system, reproductive, integumentary, that's the skin, I know it's that big word again, and the circulatory system. So you can see that citrus oils actually have a really beneficial supporting effects for your body. All right. And then if we do go specifically, I just want to quickly go here to my notes. Tangerine is obviously very high in limonene, right? It's around 80 to 99% limonene, so very high. And then it's got a very small concentration of myrcene of 0.5 to 8% in that essential oil. All right, so let's dig into the properties that tangerine has. And the first thing is obviously that it is antiseptic. And it also has antispasmodic properties, which is really good for muscles. Cytophylactic, that's really nice, because that actually means that the citrus essential oils have the benefit of supporting cell regeneration. So that's a really good one to use then topically, but again, in the evening or when you are not going to be going into the sun for at least 12 hours. Really has good digestive support, and it can have a sedative effect, although it's energizing at the same time. Now I know this sounds a little bit contradictory, but the sedative means literally here that it's able to calm you down, all right? So to soothe occasional anxious feelings, all right? But it is very revitalizing and energizing because of the limonene that is so incredibly uplifting for the mood conditions. And then also, if we start looking at the top uses because of those benefits that the essential oils have in the citrus family, is yes, they're very high in antioxidant support, and therefore they are really good to support the immune system. Very good for when you are occasionally feeling sad or when you're irritable or perturbed, and definitely when you are a little bit more impulsive than what you should what you should be or what you're used to. So definitely a really good oil to support there. And then, of course, to improve sleep quality, because it's got that sedative effect, even though it is uplifting. All right, so really good one to have in a diffuser, for instance, and to soothe anxious feelings, and even when you are overly nervous. All right, citrus oils are really good for that. But tangerine specifically, and I mean, I've got a lot of the citrus essential oils because I just love citrus so much. They all have a quite distinct aroma, although they've got similar benefits. So the wild orange would smell like a proper orange, but when you open this tangerine, It smells like the more mandarin kumquat side, which comes from China. Look, all of these varieties do come from China, but it is definitely it's got a little bit of a spicy note to it, which I really enjoy. So I often use my citrus oils in my diffuser for a little bit of upliftment. And of course, I use it before I do exercise, especially because it just helps me to get going and to motivate. And when I add peppermint to that, obviously, really energy boosting. I also, from my favorite book, the complete book of essential oils and aromatherapy, Valerie Ann Wormwood, she also suggests that the tangerine oil is really good when you have a fretful baby. So what she suggests you do, and obviously remember around babies, you've got to use essential oils very diluted because they are incredibly potent, especially if you're using a pure one that is medicinal grade. And basically she suggests that you should use, for a fretful baby, remember touch is really important, right? So a touch, even for adults, touch is just absolute medicine on its own without you even having to use essential oils. But basically for fretful babies, massaging the feet is a really good way to calm them down. And she suggests adding 5 drops of tangerine together with 2 drops of Roman Chamomile into 50 ml, so 50 milliliters. That's let me just quickly do, that's 3.5 tablespoons roughly of carrier oil. You can see that's quite heavily diluted, especially because it's a teeny tiny body that needs to metabolize this by the liver. So basically then you can make up that blend and you can give the feet a massage, and you can do that a couple of times a week. Really good to use citrus essential oils in cooking and baking as well because of the beautiful flavor that it lends. All right, but let's just before we start going into the food side of using these essential oils internally, when yours does say food supplement, here's another fun one from you. Let's do the fact or the myth. All right, so here's the question for today. If you can go and pop in the comments, please. Citrus essential oils contains vitamin C. Is that a myth or is that a fact? So I want to see some answers popping up there, please, because this is quite an interesting one. I think a lot of people still get it wrong. And it's really good to know whether they do contain it, because yes, they are incredibly high in antioxidant support and you can use them for that very reason in cooking and baking. I've also seen someone new is coming in, Isuru. Welcome, fantastic. Just in the comments today, please go and put in, is this, the following sentence, a myth or is it fact? Okay, citrus essential oils contain vitamin C. I can start seeing the answers coming through. I'm going to let some more people answer. So how we would use essential oils just to determine dosage when you're going to be using it in cooking in that kind of scenario. 1 to 3 drops is suggested for the tangerine oil when you're making a custard, in about a cup of a custard. So custards, the vanilla-y flavor of a custard really gets brought out by citrus oils, okay? So it's a really good idea to add a citrus oil to a custard. And for a custard, they suggest tangerine oil. You can use 1 to 3 drops per cup of custard. And then when you are going to be putting it in an icing, for instance, for topping a cake, then obviously essential oils are quite potent, especially if you're using a pure one. And this is where they talk about the ratios, where 1 drop of a pure essential oil, look, if you're buying a more diluted one, then obviously, and it doesn't say internal, please don't use it, but then you might need to use more. But actually 1 drop of pure essential oil is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of the equivalent in essence, or that they extract that they require in a recipe. Okay, so there's just a little top tip for you on how you're going to be using it in baking. All right, I can see some questions and answers coming through. And the real answer, of course, do citrus oils contain vitamin C? It's a myth. And it's not true. It's not a fact. Okay, I can see some people are saying facting there. And let me explain to you the science behind why. This is definitely not a fact. Vitamin C is water soluble. And when you're producing an essential oil, especially for the citrus, it's produced through a cold expression. So that's when they squeeze the aromatic compounds from the citrus rind, all right? And then those juices that come out get separated through centrifugation. Oil is always lighter than water. And then the oily layer, which is the essential oil, floats on top. Whatever is at the bottom is called a hydrosol, and basically a hydrolat. There's a couple of words for that, but the essential oil that floats on top is oily, and because vitamin C is water soluble, it does not get captured into the aromatic essential oil. All right, so definitely it is a myth. essential oils do not contain vitamins of any sort. Okay, so hopefully that cleared it up for you guys. Hopefully that was a top tip that you learned today. And what I do want to say just then in summary about Tangerine, very high in limonene. So if you don't have Tangerine, know that there's a lot of other essential oils that you can swap it with, like wild orange, lemon, mandarin. There's a lot of citrus essential oils out there. And basically just a reminder in summary, so when you are going to be using a tangerine, it is a skin clearing agent, but definitely beneficial to use it in the evening or when you're not going to go into the sun. It promotes mental alertness and soothes anxious feelings, all right? And it's going to be able to support the cardiovascular, immune, nervous system, as well as the skin, so the integumentary system. Okay, so hope you learned something about beautiful Tangerine today. It is a new essential oil in the South African market, so if you don't have it yet, please go and get it. And if you don't have an account with doTERRA, you know you know who to reach out to. I can help you to get that oil. I'm getting some high fives today. I'm seeing that Kobus has obviously learned something. That's absolutely excellent. Thank you guys for joining me today on my shorter video about Tangerine specifically, and obviously the citrus oils. If you need any more information on the citrus, please pop it in the comments. If you think someone else could benefit from hearing what I had to say, please go ahead and share this video. I also do put a replay of this video on my YouTube channel, so if you're not yet subscribed, please go and subscribe so you can be alerted when I add more videos to my channel. See you guys all next Thursday for my next topic in the singles series. It's going to be a surprise. Cheerio.